Volvo's electrified future is really starting to come into focus, and to the surprise of exactly no one, it's rooted in stylish pragmatism. First up is the 3-row EX90 arriving later this year, and trailing not too far behind is this, the 2025 Volvo EX30. For more expert car reviews, don't forget to share our channel and subscribe so you can catch some of this and maybe even a little of that. Death, taxes, and the stylish simplicity of Volvo's design language. Those are about the only 3 guarantees in life, and they continue on here with this EX30. Now this thing looks great, starting with these fantastic headlights that we saw introduced on that larger EX90. These ones don't have the same clamshell mechanism that you get with that larger SUV, but they still look fantastic, and so do the lines. Again, they are very subtle, working their way back from the rounded edges up front to these shoulders that do call back to the XC40. I will also point out that this line here with the rear window, it is very much a Volvo signature. It doesn't quite flow into the roofline the way it does with that larger XC40, but it looks good nonetheless. I also love these taillights. Again, it is a modern take on a look that Volvo has been using for years. Nice and simple, nice and subtle, but that signature is there. It also ties in very nicely with the lights up front. Surprise, surprise, that simplicity carries on to the interior, but it looks great right down to the materials used. This is supposed to be the greenest vehicle that Volvo has ever built. Lots of recycled materials. I love this speckled plastic that runs across the dash and doors. It is very cool. Now, in terms of the user experience, very much boiled down to this touchscreen. Just about everything is concentrated in here. There is no instrument cluster whatsoever. So that is going to be one of those adjustments. Same thing goes with the physical controls. There aren't many of them. Take a look at these doors. You got this handle, and that's about it. There are no window switches over here. There aren't even speakers in the door panels. You get this sound bar up here on the dash. It clears up the space here, so you've got these massive door pockets. The window switches, they are here on the console. The cup holders, they're hidden inside. Just press that, they pop out, and if you don't need both, push it back and you can have just one or get them completely out of the way. Now, with these window switches, if you want to open the rear windows, just hit this button and that drops. There are a couple more window switches on the back of the console, as well as some USB ports. More USB ports under this little compartment here, as well as 2 wireless phone chargers down here so the driver and passenger can both charge up their devices. Now, in typical EV fashion these days, there are going to be 2 versions of the EX30 available. A rear-wheel drive version that makes 268 horsepower and 253 pound-feet of torque, and a dual-motor all-wheel drive version that makes 422 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. Both of those use a 69 kilowatt-hour battery pack. Now, the rear-wheel drive version, it's going to have a range of about 440 kilometers based on early estimates. Then you have the dual motor version that's going to be good for about 425 kilometers. That all looks very promising. Of course, driving is believing, but I'll tell you one thing, I am very intrigued by the pricing. Canadian pricing not yet available, but in the US, this thing is going to start right around $35,000. That means if we're looking at about 44 grand in Canada, well, this thing has a lot going for it right out of the gate.